Hi, it's Alex. And in this video I'm going to be talking about God of War 1. Now, this game was really good and popular when it came out, and it was very playable. It was a very fun game, you know. You just take blades, connected chains, and go shwah, and all that stuff. And, you know, what I have to say about it, because I just played through the whole thing for the first time, is, well, I've known about this game since it came out, and my sister used to play and stuff, and we've had it for that long, and I never played it, so I just got around to doing it, and I can definitely say, all the hype it got and all that shit when it came out, and like all the people saying it's so good, it deserved it, because I really enjoyed it. Now, I don't know, it's a good game, but I have to say, out of all of the God of War series, it's the hardest. I'd say it's the most difficult, just because it's the first one. But, I don't know if that would make sense, but it's because...
How about the Underworld?
Yeah, the Underworld. The Underworld is... I hate the Underworld level. Okay, the levels pretty much, the first one is, you're on boats and you're fighting a Hydra and stuff, and that's pretty easy once you get, you get through it, and all that. And I played through number 3 first. That was the first one I did. The first one I played through, and it was shitloads of easy, which, it was worth it because I really like that game, and it's one of my favorite games ever. And I didn't know that in number 1 that it had balancing on beams, which, for video games, I fucking hate balancing on beams. I'm very bad at it, and I'd fall off numerous times. I remember I'm pretty sure it was in Pandora's Temple. Oh, shit, I forgot to talk about more levels. Well, after you fight the Hydra and stuff, you go to Athens, and you fight through Athens and stuff. Then you have to go to the Desert of Lost Souls, where you find Kronos, Zeus's father, and you have to, go to Pandora's Temple, which is tied around his back. And Pandora's Temple it's a lot of puzzle solving, so if you're into that, that's good. But at the same time, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of, just adjust myself here. It's just, it's a lot of hard work. It took me, like, a day or two to get it, like, done. And that doesn't mean, like, 24 hours through and 24 hours then, because, hours of playing and stuff. Like, because if you really think about it, even if it takes somebody a week to play a video game, it really only takes them, like, 12 hours or so. Because, you're playing it in chunks. And, well, it took a while, and there was one part where they had a bunch of beams, and I kept fucking up on them because it was stupid because the beams had blades on them, and I'll get to the Underworld part about that in a little bit, but with that, it was dumb because, it's a good game. I love God of War series. It's literally one of my favorite series, like I said. And, it's just, I'm so happy they got rid of the beams in number 3, because the beams in number 1 and 2 are just, they're stupid. I hate beams. I hate balancing. Most of the time, I had people in the room watching me play. All they did was watch me fall off beams for half an hour in the Pandora's Temple. And at some point, I did a really dumbass move where I ran to the first beam, and I just jumped off on accident. And it looked really dumb, and of course they made fun of me for it. And, now, after that, onto the Underworld, because, Ares kills you. You go to the Underworld, which is like hell and all that stuff, and, it's nothing but spikes and balancing and climbing. It's the stupidest level ever for the game, like...
It's hell.
It's hell, literally, it's hell, and it's hell to play. And I know something, since I played through number 3 first, I noticed the Underworld in number 3 is all pretty and nice looking and stuff, and beautiful, and But then you look at number 1, and it's such a classic view of like what hell would be like, or what the underworld would be like. Everything's all red and covered in blood and spikes and all that shit. Giant pit of darkness and all that. Blood river under. But in the third one, it's so pretty. It's like, it's a pretty place, I have to say. It doesn't look like the underworld at all, but whatever. You know, games changed their fuck's that called? They changed their picture throughout sequels and stuff. But this is literally, like, it's stupid. Like, at some point, I gave the controller to my sister who was watching me play, who's beaten this game before, and she was even having a hard time with it because it's a hard level. Like, there's a part where you have to climb up. Let's say there's rotating cylinders on walls covered in spikes and stuff. And the cylinders are all going in different directions as they go up. And let's say if there's 10 cylinders, three Kratoses can fit on one cylinder. So that means there's 10. You can probably figure out how long that is. And there was numerous times where I would jump onto the wall and the first blade would kill me. And it looked dumb. And there's a glitch I found out you can do. Now, like, I don't know if people have done this before or whatever. If you climb into about the third blade on the first cylinder of one of the walls, if you go all the way to the left, sometimes it'll glitch out where the blade will pull you into the wall, drag you through the mountain. You'll fall down the mountain 8 times, and then you'll fall through the floor and die. And it is, like, the best glitch ever. At some point, I just started doing that because I was so bored. And, I don't know, I hated that level so much. I was so happy to get into it. And, what I think of God of War 1, the gameplay is really nice. It's very fluent, I think. It's, all the cool weapons, all the cool powers you get. My favorite weapons was the, what were they called? Well, they were the giant blade things, not the Blades of Chaos. But they were, like, the giant sword things. How the fuck do I not remember? Whatever. But the reason I like them so much, you can one-shot so many enemies in the game. Like, you can kill a Cyclops in, like, 3 hits. And then you just do circle and you can do all the motions and stuff. And that's another thing. I really hate in any of the God of War games when the combinations are cool and stuff, like when you press circle or whatever the trigger button is, then you go onto there and you start stabbing or like do stuff, and that's fine with the button ones, but I hate the ones where you have to turn your analog stick in a certain direction. I hate it. That's like the worst part of any of the God of War games in my opinion. But other than that, I love God of War 1, and out of like a score of 10, I give it a 9. Or so, actually, yeah, like a 9. Like a 9.3, I'd say. Because I just like God of War. And the reason I'm doing these right now is because I went to GameStop the other day, and I was talking to a guy about the new God of War that's coming out. It's technically a God of War 4, but it's not called that. Isn't it called Ascensions?
Yeah.
It's called Ascensions, like God of War Ascensions. It's a prequel to the first game. You know, you get to be all human and stuff, and all that. And it looks really fun. You can do multiplayer. You choose what god you serve under and stuff. And that's just a little like spoiler, I guess, thingy for you guys if you're watching this. And that's the reason I'm doing these right now. And I'm a big God of War fan. I like the story. I like the gameplay. I like the characters. I just think it's fun. But yeah, on God of War 1, it's hard, kind of, especially if you do God mode. My sister's fiance is doing God mode right now, and it's taking him a long time just to beat certain enemies. The first time he tried it, when he tried to kill Ares at the end, it took him 6 hours. I played it on easy. It took me 1 try to kill Ares, but again, it was on easy, so, because I'm a noob and all that crap. But, yeah, God of War 1 is great, and, yeah, guess that's it. That's all I have to say about God of War 1 and all that, so, yeah. Next one is God of War 3.